Hello. I just want to talk to you about my tarot readings. A lot of people have questions about tarot, and so I thought I would answer some of those questions and also answer some questions about me as well. First of all, people always ask me how long have I been doing tarot, and I actually had my first awakening in 2011. And the lady that had actually done a crystal healing on me explained to me that I was going to be doing tarot one day. I've had other tarot readings and I've worked with other practitioners, and I recall one time working with a woman who she had these really weird cards and wanted me to read for her from her cards, and so I did. And they're really hard to read, but the next day I had to see her for something else. And when I walked in her door, she said, you know, I've been reading tarot cards for 25 years. You have been reading tarot cards for 500 years. So to give you a little history about myself, my grandmother read tarot cards. She didn't read tarot, she just read tarot from a plain deck of cards. And I recall when I was 5 years old, living in her home with her, and Saturday nights, it's like back in the mid-60s, there would be a room full of people, everybody smoking and drinking and just having a big party. And my grandmother would be in a corner reading tarot cards, and people were waiting for their turn to get their cards read. I think the most exciting thing for me in regards to something very similar was I was asked to do a benefit, and it was at the Rum Runners event, and I had people stand in line for 2 hours. It was amazing. I mean, there was like this really huge long line, and people were waiting for 2 hours to have their tarot read with me, and I that was just such an honor. But everybody was having a great time. They're all drinking. It was free drinks, free food. So I mean, it was great. Another thing with my tarot, people ask me about mediumship, and I do have mediumship. I do that. But I'm not one of these people where you can make an appointment with me and tell me that you want to connect with somebody on the other side. It always seems to happen when I'm doing a tarot reading. And it doesn't happen all the time. I just never know when it's going to happen. But I can be in the middle of a tarot reading, and all of a sudden somebody pops up from the other side, and they have a message to give to the person that I'm reading for. And that's always been really interesting. But I actually use all decks. I have like I think I have like 6 decks of cards. And in a tarot reading, I use every one of those decks. And I mean, we look at your map reading. Sometimes I'll look at a past life if I'm feeling that I need to do that. I look at I use flower cards, angel cards, and my regular Mystic Journal cards. And it's amazing some of the things that we learn in tarot. Now, let me just explain to you, tarot is not Hollywood. I believe that's been really a misconception about tarot. People think that you're going to tell your future, and it's so taboo in many cultures and religions, but especially the Christian religion. And I mean, I used to be a very, very strong Bible thumping Christian, and then until I had my awakening, and I really had an awakening. But let me just say this: the tarot is not necessarily about telling your future. It's like we all have crossroads that we come to, and sometimes we need a little bit of clearing out. So the tarot kind of acts as a way of helping you see the forest through the trees, or maybe clearing out the cobwebs, if you will. And what I see is like what's happened in the past, maybe what's going on right now, and what could happen in the future. It's really a way of giving you some spiritual advice on how to make your next move for you to be able to come out in a good, healthy state of mind. A lot of people that come to me, I mean, they've had things happen to them, and they want to, find out what's going on. How can they get out of this situation? Because sometimes when we're so messed up or are really focused on a particular situation that's going on in our lives, it's really hard to step out of that box and see what's going on and what can we do to make our situations better or get ourselves on the right path. That comes up a lot. Now, I will tell you also, many times people will come in for tarot reading and they will start talking to me and tell me, like what's going on in their lives, and I will tell them everything they need to know. And so many times after I've told them everything, I will tell you, I already know that that's what's in the tarot, and I'll tell them, well, I've just given you everything you need to know, but because you're paying me to read your tarot cards, I'm going to pull the tarot cards out anyway. And every time, the tarot cards reveal exactly what I had just said. So that's really amazing how that works. I don't allow people to ask me about their love life or finances or whatever, health. And the reason why is because in the past I used to allow people to, I'd say, well, do you have a question or something? And they would ask, they would put out a question, and the tarot wants to talk about what it wants to talk about, not necessarily what you want to talk about. And I know that sounds crazy, but I will give you a very good example. Very recently, I had a dear friend of mine do an astrology reading for me, and that was I asked her. I said, I want an astrology reading on my love life, and she did the cards, and she said, Lisa, everything in these cards, it's not about love. I mean, there's money. You've got money, business, all kinds of business people that you're doing business with, and all these cards are all about money. So you're going to make a lot of money and you're going to meet a lot of people. And I mean, it was really a good reading, but it didn't answer my question. So at that time, that's really what those cards wanted to talk to me about. So she ended up redoing the cards. She shuffled them again and really tried to focus on the love. Every card reader is different. I have a friend who is the doom and gloom card reader, and I don't let her read my cards very often, but she does. My readings are really based on uplifting you and giving you encouragement and keeping you positive. People are always afraid to have their readings done. Some people are anyway, because they don't want to know if they're going to die, or well, first of all, I would never know any tarot reader that's going to tell you that you're going to die, or tell you that you're going to come into a lot of money, or give you medical advice through that reading. That's so unethical. I mean, that is so taboo in tarot. I would never tell somebody that they were going to die or anything like that, because my higher divine self already knows that that's not the kind of tarot reader that I am. So my readings are really about kind of looking at your situation and really giving you encouragement and a positive outlook. Being very optimistic and helping guide you to where you can turn things around and make things work for you in a very positive way. I recently had a friend of mine do a reading for me, and after going through a really bad relationship about 3 years ago, she did my reading for my birthday, this past birthday, and she told me that I was going to meet this guy, and she explained that she described him, and at first I said, well, you're describing my ex-boyfriend, are you sure? She's like, no, this is not him, but this guy had a lot of qualities or same things that the last boyfriend had. So, and she explained to me that he was going to cause me to have a setback financially a little bit. So, I'm aware of that now, and I'm aware of what to look out for to prevent that from happening. So that's really what tarot is about. Very often when I do tarot, I invite my grandmother to come in with me, and also my mother, because my mother had the same gifts, but she just never used them. But I invite my grandmother so many times. She's there, cheering me on and also helping to read the cards with me. So there's definitely a unique spirit that is felt in the rooms when I'm doing my tarot readings. But I'm offering a lot of readings this week, or the month for September. Best thing for you to do is to look at my website at gypsyspiritcharleston.com and find the tarot readings that you would like to have, and give me a call. Text me is the best way to get in touch with me. But my readings usually take between 45 minutes to an hour. We go through a lot of cards, and they're very interesting. Please look at my testimonies. I have really great testimonies from many customers. So I hope that you have a very blessed day, and get in touch with me when you're ready for your tarot reading. Bye-bye.